Hello friends, welcome to my channel Yog with Rakshit. In the present video, we will see 6 systems of Indian philosophy and truth that is explained by each and every Indian philosophy. We will start with Sankhya and Yoga philosophy. Thereafter, we will see Nyaya and Vaisheshik philosophy. And in the end, we will see Purva Mimansa and Uttara Mimansa or Vedanta Darshana. Let us see. Bhartiya Darshana means Indian philosophy. Darshana means to see and experience. So this is the climax of divine Vedas in which sages explained truth scientifically. So first of all, you have to read this. Thereafter, by practice of meditation, if you see and experience it, then it is true for you. Otherwise, it is wrong. So this is the climax of science of 6 Indian philosophy that relies on completely science and logic. Let us see. First darshan is Sankhya Darshana, which was given by sage Kapil. According to this darsana, there is only two reality that exist, that is Purush and Prakriti, or seer and sin. Purush means Parabrahma or supreme reality or supreme soul. Prakriti means nature. Purush is always interchangeable and Prakriti or nature is changeable. In physics, we know that, for instance, I am standing right now with respect to what? Earth. Earth is rotating around Earth. So Earth is moving with respect to Sun. Even Sun is rotating with respect to Milky Way galaxy. And in our universe, there are 10 raised to 11 galaxies which are rotating around the center of universe. And even in world, there are several universe according to parallel universe and multiverse theory and according to also divine Vedas. So here only one thing which is not changing, and that is Parabrahma, Purush or seer or supreme soul, while nature is continuously changing. So this is the prime nature or prime trait of nature or Prakriti. Another trait of Sankhya Darshan is it tells that whatever suffering we are facing is due to inability to discriminate between seer and sin or Purush and Prakriti. Why? Because our mind has several repressions, impressions, desires, and instincts, and that is why truth is veiled by Maya or Prakriti. That is why we cannot discriminate between Purush and Prakriti. Another thing that Sankhya Darshan tells is it didn't depend on God to help find a way out of pain or suffering and to give ready-made answer of reality. Sankhya denies the existence of Ishvara or Supreme Soul. It accepts Atma as truth, but it doesn't accept Paramatma or Supreme Being. So whatever suffering we are facing is because of our own karma, past karma of our past births. So whatever suffering we are right now facing is because of our ignorance and lack of practice of meditation. By practicing meditation, we can realize our true self, that is Atma, and by this way we can discriminate between Purush and Prakriti. Another thing is, according to Sankhya philosophy, in the beginning we were Atma. In the midst, we are Jiv, which are bound because of karma of past births. And in the end, by getting self-realization, we will again become Atma. So this is the first and foremost philosophy of Bhartiya Darshana, which is known as Sankhya philosophy given by sage Kapil. Second one is Yoga Darshana, which was given by sage Patanjali. It accepts core principles of Sankhya Darshana, that Purusha and Prakriti, etc. And that is why Sankhya is paired with Yoga philosophy or Yoga Darshana. Yoga Darshana is completely emphasized on practice of or meditation and 8 limbs of yoga, that is yama, niyama, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. In Yoga Darshana, the goal of life is to restrain mind, stop taking various kind of streams. And by this way, Patanjali explains science of focus with logic and in terms of modern perspective, so that all practitioners, those who have rational nature, can understand the core principle, core message of divine Vedas. So, as I told, it relies on practice. How one can have self-realization? Patanjali tells that by practice and detachment, abhyas vairagyam tandirodha. It means by regular and consistent practice and detachment means vairagya, one can have self-realization and in the end liberation by getting super conscious state, that is highest meditative state, which is known as samadhi, by power of concentration. So yoga philosophy, according to me, is the king of all Bhartiya Darshana and modern philosophy, as it emphasizes on our instrument, that is mind stuff, our chip, by purification and getting one pointedness, concentration, or focus, or ekagrata, we can have self realization. And that is why Yoga Darshana is the king of all philosophy, all Darshana. Another Darshana is Nyaya Darshana, which was given by sage Gautam. It emphasizes on science of logic. Let us see its core principles. It means process of reasoning or syllogistic reasoning that relies on logic. In science or in physics, first of all, students have to understand mathematics of logic, like set theory. Thereafter, they will be able to understand mathematics. So this is the height of divine Vedas or Darshana, in which Gautama emphasized on science of logic and reasoning. Why? Here main focus is life. To understand life, first of all, you have to understand what you are not. So first of all, by neti neti, that which is not, that which is not, Gautam tells that you are not this world by reasoning, like comparison, verbal testimony, inference, etc. kind of proof. Thereafter, Gautam explains that you are self, you are soul. So this is the method of sage Gautam. Through this way, you can understand your true self. So prime goal of life is to seek everlasting happiness or joy or eternal happiness by proving oneself beyond all doubts, and final process for it. What is the final process for it? Getting realization by meditation. So ultimately, you will stuck in the end after discrimination between Purusha and Prakriti because of lack of realization, and that is done by Yoga Darshana. So it explains science of focus, how to achieve concentration, and by achieving intense concentration, how to achieve super consciousness, and by achieving super consciousness, in the end, how to achieve super consciousness without seed or nirvij samadhi, so that one can have realization of true self or salvation. So it relies on proofs like perception, inference, comparison, verbal testimony, as I told, to reach an intuition. So this is the result of this kind of proofs. Intuition is self-contained. After getting intuition, you don't require any kind of proof. There are 7 kind of intuition explained in Patanjali Yoga Sutra that I have explained in my yoga channel. Those who are interested can view my videos on Patanjali Yoga Sutra. So it is self-contained, and that is why Nyaya Darshan provides us science of logic. Next darshan is Vaisheshik Darshana, which was given by sage Kanad. It explains liberation, or it means realization of our true nature by detachment from action. It explains rudimentary atomic theory. In modern days, in physics, smallest sub-constituent of matter is atom. The word atom was first coined by sage Kanad in Vaisheshik Darshana. It means Paramanu. It is vishesh or specific, and that is why this name is given to this darshana. So it explains something which is irreducible quantity or vishesh, which is unique from other object. Like atom is the fundamental building block of matter. Like whatever buildings are there in the universe, the fundamental building block of the building is brick. Similar to that, fundamental building block of matter is atom. As I told, Vaisheshik Darshan is rudimentary form of atomic theory. It also explains that for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. It means various merits and demerits of action. And it explains by this way motions of atoms that leads to creation of circumstances in our life that is polarized by Ishvara, and by this way we are facing various suffering, and it explains laws of justice. So, and that is why it is linked with Nyaya Darshana, as both shares some core principles. Manchester University physicists found that there are 3 laws of motion and mechanics are also given in Vaisheshik Darshana. You can find in Google whatever I am telling. So for every action there is equal and opposite reaction is the sentence of 3rd laws of mechanics given by Sir Isaac Newton. Next darshana is Purva Mimansa, which was proposed by Gemini, given by Gemini. It means the literal meaning of Mimansa means reflection, investigation, or analysis. It tells us the nature of dharma, or it gives us inquiry of dharma. At that time, concept of dharma were mixed, and that is why Gemini came with the clear reasoning of dharma. What is dharma and what is the purpose of Vedic religion? So he derived objectives of our dharma so that people can understand actual purpose of various rituals of Vedic religion or code of conduct. Vedic rituals with ethical life is the way of salvation according to Gemini. So it explains Karma Kand part of our Vedas. So words carries meaning and sentence carries knowledge. So our valid knowledge must result in a duty to act. So these, according to this sentence, one can understand philosophy of language or linguistics as it explains science behind word, knowledge, and meaning. Each word has specific frequency or sound which carries meaning, and by forming sentence from word, it carries knowledge, and thereafter we will have actual meaning of that sentence. So by this way it explains philosophy of language. As I told, it is philosophy of language which is helpful in modern days for various philosophers of languages. So it connects dharma to Vedic practice like rituals, and this darshan become backbone of Hindu ways of life at that time, as people were confused regarding karma kand in the Vedic literature, and Gemini cleared that confusion by giving this darshana or philosophy. It explains cycle of action, consequences, our rebirth that goes eternally till soul has no more desire to act. So this is the situation or state which we are calling sthita pragya, or which is explained in Bhagavad Gita. It is not achieved by practicing vivek or discrimination. It is achieved by accomplishing state of superconsciousness, which is achieved by practicing yoga or 8 limbs of yoga. Next darshan is Uttara Mimansa, or which is also known as Vedanta, which was given by Bhadrayan or Krishna Dvapayan Ved Vyas. So it is the essence of Vedas. Purva Mimansa focuses on kind of action, while Uttar Mimansa focuses on philosophical aspect and foundation behind these actions. So these both philosophies or darshan are connected with each other by means of karma or action. As I told, it is the essence of wisdom of Ved or Vedant. It comprehends importance of contemplative life or of reflection and meditation. So here there are several sub philosophies in this class that is known as Vedanta, like Advaita Vedanta, Vishishta Vedanta, etc. This all explains reflection and practice of meditation, which is required to have liberation or salvation or self-realization. So, as I told, it emphasizes on meditation, and by this way, we can have realization of Brahma or Supreme Brahma. It is also known as Brahma Sutra, which was given by Badrayan. It explains one supreme truth, that is Brahma Vidya. We know that what is Brahma Vidya? Vidya hika Brahma Gati Padaya Sa Vidyaya Vimuktiye. The system of knowledge which is able to give you liberation or salvation is known as Brahma Vidya, and which is the true system of knowledge. Rest of the system of knowledge are secondary thing in our life, as our goal of life is liberation or salvation. According to this philosophy, Atma and Brahma is equal or equal to each other, one I can say. And another thing is, it tells that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. It means only Brahma or Atma or Parabrahma or Supreme Reality is truth. Rest of the things are illusion or non-truth. So this is how this Darshana explains reality or Parabrahma. So in the present video, we have seen these 6 systems of Indian philosophy of Bharat or Bhartiya Darshana. Here you might have observed that after all, studying all this philosophy, you cannot have experience or you cannot see the truth. To see the truth, you have to go for practice of meditation, and that is scientifically explained by Yoga Darshana, and that is why I emphasized on Yoga Darshana, and I told that Yoga Darshana is the king of all philosophy in Bharatiya Darshana. To realize truth and to experience truth, you have to go for intense practice of meditation in such a way that you can have super consciousness by following yam and niyama. It explains science of focus. As my channel is on Yoga Darshana, I have to emphasize on this reality that whatever scientific truth that is explained by divine Vedas in terms of this Darshana is only realized by getting samadhi or supreme consciousness. So this is the reality of our Indian literature, Vedic literature. Thanks for listening and watching. If you like my video, please share and subscribe my YouTube channel. Another thing is, I have shortly explained each Bharatiya Darshana is in this lecture, as viewers are not able to understand these 6 Indian philosophy in one lecture. So if you are willing to understand 6 Indian philosophy, you can put comment in my channel so that I can help you in some way. Thanks for listening.